In our first story, 26-year-old Abilimpe branch manager of Mawako restaurant, Jihad Chaban, who is accused of assaulting Evelyn Boache, a caterer at the restaurant, has been granted bail of 20,000 cedis with 2 sureties by the Abekan District Court. Jihad is accused of shoving the face of the caterer into blended pepper. Lawyers for Jihad, who have pleaded not guilty to the charge, argued that he was entitled to bail since investigations have been concluded. Joe News' Joseph Akable was in court and has more in this report.
So I'm here at the AMA Okaikwe North Sub-Metropolitan District Council office where the Abekan District Court is located. Now this matter clearly is one that has generated the interest of many Ghanaians across the country, and it was evidenced by the fact that many trooped the court premises to view proceedings. The courtroom ordinarily takes 22 persons. All the seats were filled while others waited patiently outside. I engaged some of them to find out what brings them to the courtroom, and this is what they had to say.
You know, since we are all in a way promoting affirmative action, and since we want our ladies to be bold enough to cater for us and also to be with us, it is our view that when they are in instances, we must come in to give them the moral support.
Just here to witness what is going on over here. Yeah.
The ruling should be in the favor of the Ghanaian lady. Yeah. Because right now, the Lebanese is free. It's free right now, that's how I'm speaking.
I'm also here to support the lady. We are in Ghana. We have to make sure that anything that goes on, we support our own. Yeah.
For the matter itself, first and foremost, there were some changes in the legal team. Julio de Medeiros joined Asafoeje, who represented Jihad Chaban, the accused, last week, whilst Francis Xavier Sosu, a known human rights activist, joined prosecution. He said he was holding criminal brief for the complainant in the matter.
I'm in this matter to be holding criminal watching brief on behalf of the victim in the matter. Clearly, we take the view that this is a very serious violation of the victim. It violates her right to personal dignity under Article 15 of the Constitution. So whilst we put our team together to look at the possibility of taking a civil action and a human rights action against the Mawako fast foods, it is important that we would join in the trial. And we are doing this on express instruction by the victim and the family, who wants us to assist them to make sure that they get justice in this matter.
Evelyn Boache, who is the complainant in this particular matter, first told the court her side of the story, where he narrated how on the 26th of February, her face was thrusted into blended pepper by Jihad Chaban. Again, the blender in question was presented to the court and tendered in as evidence, after which he reenacted the entire incident. Lawyers for the accused person, led by Julio de Medeiros, put a forceful argument asking that the accused be granted bail. This request was granted by Victoria Ganza, who heard the matter, who was of the view that the accused had met the requirements for a bail. Lawyer Julio de Medeiros was excited by this decision.
He made a very good case for why the bail, my client should be admitted to bail. The court agreed with us that all the conditioned precedents for the admission of a suspect to bail has been met, and we are quite excited. I mean, that's what I say. We are quite excited. You yourself know that the case has started, so I wouldn't want to go into the facts of the matter. For now, the prosecution have put the complainant in the box. She has finished giving her testimony. We've started cross-examination. We've sealed her mouth, and we'll come back on Monday to continue.
26-year-old Jihad Chaban is supposed to report at the Tesano police station 2 times a week on Tuesday and Friday. The matter itself comes back to the Abekan District Court on Monday, 20th of March, where hearing is expected to continue. Reporting for Joy News, Joseph Akable, Abekan District Court.
And let's stay in the Greater Accra region, because Greater Accra may have been adjudged as the second best performing region on the annual District League table, but still has a lot of work to do as far as sanitation is concerned. The Center for Democratic Development, CDD, at a regional launch of the District League table, revealed no community in the region has been certified as open defecation free. Research fellow at CDD, Mohammed Awal, says the region has a lot to do to address the worrying trend.
Out of the 27 million population, 10 million do not have access to basic services like health, basic education, access to good sanitation, and potable water. Those who have access to these services have it at a minimal level. That's the revelation coming from the 2016 finding on the District League table. Though the Greater Accra region is ranked highly, open defecation still remains a major challenge.
Why is it that many of our districts are unable to provide these services? What is the problem? Because we said our district assemblies are supposed to be responsible for the overall development of our district. But we find out that many of our districts are unable to discharge that responsibility. The other issues that we find that is worrying is the within region inequality. Within a specific region, you would find some districts that are doing well, or some citizens, some districts that are enjoying these basic services that we try to measure. Unfortunately, all the 16 districts in Accra do not have any of their communities that have been certified to be open defecation free, let alone the entire district. For me, that is what is worrying. So it's the problem with the way we are doing urbanization.
This District League table was put together in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, UNICEF Ghana, Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD. Introduced in 2014, it is a social accountability tool that ranks Ghana's 216 districts by their level of development and service delivery. Director for Research, Statistics and Information Management at the Local Government Ministry, Dorothy Oni, says the objective of the District League table is to help improve the living conditions and not to put a spotlight on districts that are not providing basic services.
So what we are saying to the region coordinating councils and the districts, the coordinating directors and the planners, is that these indicators of the District League table should be merged into the indicators that the assemblies are addressing or pursuing in their planning and their budgeting processes.
This is the third year for the District League table. Well, I would want to find out what has happened to the previous years. What did we do with those findings?
That is why we are insisting, because, we're talking about misconception of the two. So the various assemblies feel it's like we are ranking them. So it's like ranking how districts are being developed. It's ranking how the services we are providing to districts in way of development, in education, water, security, all those, how the districts are faring and not how the assembly is faring.
Ashanti region topped as the best performing region, with the Greater Accra region coming second. The Volta region emerged last among the 10 regions. For Joy News, Matilda Pamagan, Accra.
Elsewhere, residents of Fuase in the Etrima-Kwawoma district of the Ashanti region are demanding answers to why 3 bungalows built for the local assembly have been allowed to deteriorate whilst the taxpayers' money is spent on rent and transportation for government appointees. The 3 bungalows, estimated to cost about 9,000 cedis, are fast deteriorating, having been abandoned for some 9 years now. Meanwhile, the coordinating director lives outside town, whilst the planning officer commutes from Konongo in the Asante Achim North municipality. The assembly rented a house for the DCE, which has now become the residence of the magistrate for the town. Kwesi Deborah has more.
The building that you can see over here was reportedly constructed for the district chief executive of the area, and as you can see, everything is in a mess, everything overwhelmed with grasses. I'm going to take a tour in the building and I'm going to show you what this building has become. The project was started by the then DCE, the late Tony Nyame. The 3 bungalows sit on a 53-acre land belonging to the assembly. The buildings, completed 9 years ago, sit some meters from the town and have been taken over by bushes and rodents and a safe haven for thieves. Assembly member for the area, Christian Ochre, is worried residents have started encroaching on the 53-acre land. He decries the travel expenses on local authorities at the expense of deteriorating national asset. The iron rods and tiles we had in the bungalows have all been stolen. Last year, we planned on building the administration block. Because of the litigation issues, we had to stop it. At first, it was the haven of thieves. We spend on the coordinating director's fuel. The planning officer and the DC stay far away from here.
Coordinating director before full hour de bano. Sending iska. DC baby or tia oba. Not DC no muti ampetia.
The two towns have had the 9-year feud over the siting of the district capital. The Supreme Court has subsequently given its ruling to relocate the district capital to Twedeɛ, a decision which is yet to be implemented by the Ministry of Local Government. Deputy District Coordinator Yabuadu tells Joy News, though the structure is yet to be supplied with water and electricity, the litigation is making it difficult to carry further works on them.
Until the time that particular place of capital is solved, my brother, it will be difficult for the assembly to put up any structure for the district capital, because when you intend doing that, actually, the French people too will rise. Hey, you are taking our capital to Twedeɛ. When we are doing that, Twedeɛ people will go to Supreme Court because there's a ruling in favor of them.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Parliament has directed the Interior Minister to institute immediate investigations into clashes between residents of Mutual and Dawenya in the Tema area, which has led to the death of one person in December last year. The deceased was allegedly shot by policemen who were called in to restore order in a dispute over land. Second Deputy Speaker Alban Bagwin, who presided over Thursday's sit-in, has also directed the Interior Minister to take immediate steps to disband armed gangs in the area said to be behind armed attacks over land. The directive was prompted by concerns raised by MP for Ningo Pram Sam George that residents could be arming themselves to retaliate if the policemen suspected of killing their kinsmen are not brought to book. He tells Joy News there's tension between residents in those two communities.
There are issues about land, especially between the people of Dawenya and Mutual, that had led to one or two skirmishes, especially notably the death of Mr. Francis Teteboche on the 29th of December 2016. I sought the leave of Mr. Speaker to direct the Minister for Interior to immediately take steps to institute an investigation into the sad events of 29th December. I'm grateful to Mr. Speaker that he's granted those reliefs. He's instructed the Minister for Interior to immediately liaise with the relevant agencies to start a disarmament of groups that are armed in the constituency in those two townships, and then also to constitute or institute immediate investigations into the unfortunate incidents that led to the death of Mr. Francis Teteboche on the 29th of December 2016. It is my hope that this will bring some sanity and closure of some sort to the matter.
This incident happened about 11 weeks ago, as you indicated on the floor. How have the two communities been since then, looking at the fact that no major investigation had been commissioned and no one had been sanctioned in connection with this?
There is an uneasy everyday activities, all right, but between those who are the landowners, there have become no-go areas in the constituency where some people from Mutual can go to certain parts of Dawenya, some people from Dawenya can come into certain parts of Mutual. I will not represent the people when people cannot have the freedom to move. And so that is why for me, this is going to bring certainty. And you see, the most important thing here is the accusation in this instance does not have to do with any citizen of Mutual or Dawenya. It has to do with police, 4 police officers who are being accused of being the ones to have perpetrated the heinous murder of Mr. Francis Teteboche. It's a different thing if a known person from Dawenya came to Mutual to kill a citizen of Mutual or a native of Mutual. No. Police officers, 4 police officers are being accused of this heinous crime. Only an investigation can justify such accusations, can prove them guilty or innocent. And that's why we're saying that an investigation should happen into this matter. You can't have the activities of 4 policemen drive a wedge in the peace between these two communities until and unless a proper investigation not a kangaroo investigation, a proper investigation is carried out into this matter to ascertain the claims of the activities of these 4 policemen on the 29th of December 2016, it would continue to breed the tension between the two communities.
Have you sought any clarity from the police administration on what they've been doing about it since the incident happened? What kind of feedback have you gotten, if you have?
I've been told that the 4 policemen have been called to write statements, and that's all. Statements are all that have been collected. We have not, and there's not been a willingness to engage us with details and give us clarity. This is a matter that there must be a sunshine investigation into this. It must be done in the open. The police must not seek to hide anything.
Thursday's parliamentary sitting also saw members discussing reforms to the Council of State. MP for Kumbungu Uras Mubarak, who delivered a statement on the floor, says the reforms are needed to make the institution stronger.
We should not reduce membership of the Council of State to people who are not just young, but people who have zero experience. And we've seen instances in the past where people have graduated from school, zero experience, in their 20s or 30s, have picked up nominations to run for membership of the Council of State.
Do you think that shouldn't happen?
I mean, what advice are they coming to give the president? With all due respect, I'm a convincing advocate for opportunities for youth. I would fight for opportunities for youth any day, any time. But I think some things should be reserved for people who have come a long way or who have traveled quite a bit in terms of experience that they've garnered. It is not for nothing that it says a former Chief Justice. It is not for nothing that it says a former IGP. Now, these are people with immeasurable amount of experience. And then you have somebody straight out of school, he's a member of the council. What advice is he proffering?
So that then the idea is that what? There should be an age limit, or there should be a limit when it comes to the amount of experience that whoever may have, because we know that for some of the Council of State reps, these are elections that take place at the regional level. So anyone can get into it and rise through the ranks.
And that is why we need to put a cap on it. Now, in the UK, for instance, they have the age limit of 21. Now, 21 not because young people can't contribute, but because of the hereditary system, so that if your relative is a member of the House of Lords and that relative passed away, you can inherit the person's seat. You know, so yes, combine experience, because you can have a young person with a lot of experience in their 30s, but have a limit on that so that there's clarity, so that there's no doubt in anybody's minds as to who should be on the Council of State. And I believe once we are able to do that, it would help us a lot.
Chairman of the Executive Asset Subcommittee of the Transition Team, Ayikwe Otu, has revealed that about 234 government vehicles are still not accounted for. Ms. Ayikwe Otu also says the asset register of the list of vehicles presented were not made available to the committee he chaired during the transition period. That's notwithstanding, Ms. Ayikwe Otu said the task force has retrieved 67 government vehicles which were originally not listed by the NDC administration.
We were able to identify 67 vehicles not listed. They were not listed, but we were able to identify them. That came to 67. So if you deduct the 67 vehicles from the 301 missing vehicles, we still have 234 vehicles which could not be accounted for. Are you okay? So the figure that came out from Mr. Ayin's office, that is over 200, is correct. And if they want me as the chair to confirm, I'm confirming. And I'm saying that the figure was over 200. If we take away the 67 that we ourselves identified, take that out of the 301, the missing vehicles will be 234 vehicles. They are yet to be accounted for. And this is from the list that they supplied from the office of the president.
All right, that's it for the AM News. For now, we've got more news headlines in the various newspapers. One story I've just been reading in the Daily Guide, a very chilling story of how a houseboy killed his master who had returned from London. There's more also on the various news portals. That's where we touch base next here on the AM show. Please do stay.